Hi, I'm Liao. I'm 36 and I live in Shenzhen, a first-tier megacity in southern China. In my last video, I gave you a tour inside my apartment and showed you around the neighborhood. But today, I want to take you outside the community so you can see what it's really like living in a Chinese suburb surrounded by factories. These are the shops right under our apartment building. McDonald's has already moved in. They're doing renovations right now. It'll probably open in a few months. Our apartment is in the suburbs of Shenzhen. It's surrounded by factories, electronics, assembly, packaging, you name it. And because of that, it gets really noisy at night. Trucks coming in and out, machines running. Right next to those factories, you'll always find employee dormitories, those tall, gray buildings with rows and rows of windows. Each dorm building can house thousands of workers. Speaking of these factories, there's actually some history behind them. Shenzhen's industrial story goes back more than 40 years. Back in the 1980s, this place was still a small fishing village. That's when the first Hong Kong factories moved across the Liao Bridge, what they called the 3 processing and 1 compensation model. Processing with imported materials, processing with supplied samples, processing with assembled parts, plus compensation trade. Most of those early toy factories and electronics plants were basically just a workshop of a Hong Kong factory, using Shenzhen as their production line in the back. So how much do factory workers actually make in a month? Shenzhen's minimum wage in 2025 is about $350 a month for a 40-hour week. But the real money isn't the base pay, it's the overtime. Weekday nights pay time and a half, weekends are double time, and holidays are triple time. A typical worker who puts in 10 to 12 hours a day with almost no days off takes home somewhere between $760 and $1,100 a month. This factory was built here by the Japanese brand Toshiba, but according to workers inside, it's also getting ready to move out. My wife and I bought this place 2 years ago for $600,000, but the building wasn't actually finished until October last year. In China, it's pretty common to pay the full price before the apartment is even built. And compared to today's housing prices, ours has dropped by nearly a third. Buying a home in a first-tier city like Shenzhen is financially brutal. Usually, young couples need financial support from both sides of the family to afford it. Our down payment was $300,000, and our parents helped us out with about $150,000. Honestly, this is super common. Young couples relying on their parents to cover more than half the cost. Without that support, buying a home is basically impossible. Now let's talk about taxes, because buying a home isn't just about the price tag. In China, when you buy a residential property, you pay a deed tax. Our apartment is under 90 square meters, so the deed tax is 1% of the purchase price. That's about $6,000. If the apartment were bigger, the tax rate would be higher. Also, if this were our second home, the deed tax would jump to 3%. Of course, if you don't have mortgage pressure, the monthly cost of living in Shenzhen is actually not that high. The official floor area of this apartment is 69 square meters. That's about 743 square feet. But here's the trap. In China, the listed size includes shared spaces, hallways, elevators, all of it. This is what people call the size trap when buying a home in China. The actual usable living space is only about 51 square meters, roughly 549 square feet. The layout is 2 bedrooms, 1 living room, 1 kitchen, and 1 bathroom. This is my son. He wants to show you guys the trash can he picked out on Pinduoduo. And here's our electric sofa. My wife and I recently started making small changes to our little place. Back when we were renting, we barely touched anything, because every time we moved out, the landlord would make us restore everything to how it was. I've lived in Shenzhen for 12 years and moved between so many different rental apartments. Renting versus buying, it's a totally different experience. I'm planning to install a pegboard on the front door, still looking for the right design. And on the dining room wall, I want to put up a felt board to stick our family photos on.
这什么味的包子啊？面包。
说不出来。
看，
Our door lock didn't come with a doorbell, so I grabbed this one on JD for $7. Stuck it to the door frame with the double-sided tape, plugged the receiver inside.
这个怎么样？对吧？
可以。
这高度也行。
Press works perfectly, nice and loud. This is the wireless switch panel I bought. Here's how it works. 2 switches control the same light together. One replaces the original wall switch. The other is a stick anywhere switch. You can attach it to any flat surface. A set costs about $8. We didn't really think through the light switch locations during our renovation. The kitchen switch ended up next to the dining table, and the balcony switch is all the way by the sofa. Not exactly user-friendly. First, pry open the old wall switch plate, take out the screws, and disconnect the wires inside. Then, follow the instructions to connect the main switch of this wireless set. Live wire, neutral wire, and the light wire, and tighten them. Then screw it back in and snap the cover on. That's it. The main switch is installed, and it controls the light just like a regular switch. The balcony light is done. Next up, the kitchen. It took less than half the time compared to the first one. Practice makes perfect. Even something like installing a light, you can get a feel for it. It must be the professional in me. Whenever something's off at home, I'd rather study it than take a crack at fixing it myself. What about you? When something small breaks at home, do you fix it yourself or call someone? Here we go again. Time for another round of patching. Every little mark on the wall means more spackle, more sanding, and another coat of paint.
下面也就。
干今天不一定干得了呀，
等一下就干了，
有那么快干吗？
很快的。
This is our little home in Shenzhen, the story of a small apartment makeover. It's not big, but we've put our heart into every corner. Thank you so much for watching till the end. If you don't mind sharing, how much does a typical house cost in your country? And are the layouts anything like what we have here?